Landry wasn't in the mood to hand out participation trophies, apparently. But this fall, you'll follow that rule handbook again, right? I'm going to do my job. Are you going to marry the person she picks too? His words chipped at my brain, shorting out wires as sparks flashed behind my eyes. Some pretty, petite brunette from a good family, like Mia. Why was he harping on this marriage thing? It's like he suspected. Drop it. My voice wasn't me. It was some bitter monster. The boy beside me turned me into Mr. Hyde, but he was also the one who could turn me back into Dr. Jekyll. So when his face softened, the monster receded, and I was just left with a headache from beating back the beast. "Okay, I'm sorry," he said. "And Mia's just a friend. I've told you that." She was a year behind us in school, and we met during photography classes. She came on to me one time at a party, and I rejected her advances as nicely as I could. She took it graciously, and then cocked her head, green eyes shining, and asked if we could be friends. I said yes, and never regretted it. She didn't bug me about dating, and she never judged my relationship with Landry. I think she knew, in a way, what I didn't have the balls to admit out loud. I sighed. "It's okay, but I'd like to spend this summer like the fall isn't coming. Like we used to be. Is that okay? Can we do that?" Something shifted in Landry's eyes, but then it was gone. He nodded haltingly. "Of course. We can do that, Justin." "Thanks," I whispered, drained. We passed into Washington and took one of the first exits off of I-5 to a rest stop in Sarah. I parked the RV in the designated overnight parking lot, turned off Sally, and leaned back, rubbing my sandpaper eyes with the heels of my palms. I stumbled to the back of the RV to pee and brush my teeth. When I returned to the main cabin of the RV, Landry had pulled out the sofa to make the bed and had thrown on a sheet and 2 pillows. He flopped down on one side, wearing only a pair of boxers. He was so thin, having lost weight in the last year. I could see the definition of his back muscles and a few ribs, but my eyes were drawn to the 2 dimples in his lower back, just visible above his waistline. And I wanted to go right back into the bathroom and hide. Maybe I could sleep in the shower stall. Come on, Justin, lay down. We have a big day tomorrow. There were no other places to sleep in Sally. I knew that going into this trip, but now, facing the reality of sleeping with Landry, I didn't know if I could do it. I couldn't tell him I would sleep on the driver's seat. That would just be weird. But this bed was barely bigger than a twin, and I didn't know how I was going to sleep on it with him for 3 months. I'd slept next to him before, but we'd either been encased in our own sleeping bags, or we'd been drunk off our asses and passed out. I stripped quickly, glad Landry's face was turned away from me, and thankful I was so nervous that my dick hadn't gotten the memo it'd be right next to another dick. Then I crawled under the covers next to him, and lay on my stomach. He turned his head in the dark. I could barely make out the slope of his nose, the jut of his chin. Fingers brushed my bicep, and I squeezed my eyes shut. My dick got the memo now. "Tomorrow," he whispered. "Yep, tomorrow," I whispered back. Silence, then, "You doing okay?" "Yeah, Lan. I am." Or I would be if he would just sleep. "Okay. Night, Jus."